Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm here with two of the winners of the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras, Rachel and Jenny. What an epic final. Rachel, I'm going to start with you because Era 1 was just decimated, and then you survived for the win. Talk about that karma vote and how it felt to be named the winner.
So it felt meant to be. I felt the entire time I was there. I did feel like there was a higher power guiding me. I truly do believe that. As far as Era One, I knew that there needed to be representation for Era One through the entire show. So I definitely felt that, there was an extra pressure on my back to make sure that that happened because I couldn't imagine how terrible that would be for the entire franchise had Era One just not had representation in the final, then to only find out that all my 20 years of being a part of the challenge ended up paying off with good karma. So I do think that I believe that me winning is a win for the challenge fans. So, I
For
think that
sure. Yeah.
the true challenge fans, the ones that hearts, the ones that love this show, the ones that, know where it came from and all of that. I think that watching, me manage to finagle my win, because we'll say it like
Mhm.
that. Like it wasn't, it was definitely a finagle of sorts. Like I had to win exactly, like had I not won individually, had I not won the day that, we were swinging from the trucks, I would have been a target, like with Jenny and with Aviv. Like we'd be sitting here in a completely different situation. So that being said, I believe that it's very special, and I will now live the rest of my life happy.
Yes.
And Jenny, you're Era 4, a relative newbie, and
Yeah.
now you're like two for three. Like in this, I mean, what a beast. What was it like to come in with all of these legends and then just smash it all the way to the final?
I mean, going to season 40, I mean, it's an epic season, and I think everybody kind of agrees. Like, I was massively honored to even be asked. I've not been here for 4 years, so I kind of didn't really think it was going to happen, even until like a week before. I thought they'd probably changed their mind. So, to be able to compete against all these people, I'd heard of them, I'd never really met them, and I was definitely aware of what a privilege slash monumental moment it was for me to be there. And there was lots of other people that would have wanted to, or should have been there as well. So yeah, I was proud to have been asked. Never did I really think I would definitely win. I never compete in something unless I think I can win. So I definitely knew I could win. But then this is season 40. This is OGs and the best of the best. So I thought, holy shit, this is going to be. If I could win this, that will mean so much. So
And
yeah.
she did. And she
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Kind of been out
We're
and like,
both
yeah,
we're both gonna ride off into the sunset now.
yeah.
And they didn't make it easy on you. You were the target of choice even from your own team most of the
Yeah.
season.
I know. I'm annoying. It was annoying because I can't not try my best at the same time. Even if one of the girls was eventually a target, I still would try on the challenge day. I still wouldn't, throw it to get rid of them because I was annoyed. It's just annoying having to work so hard. But then Rachel then had to do similar, of course, be the only one left on era one. So we both had we're up against it all the time, but just different in different ways. And I think that's what really drew us together and kind of really solidified our friendship from quite early on. Really, we both had a mutual respect for the effort we're both having to constantly put in, and how we above everybody else felt like we really had to keep proving ourselves over and over again. And yeah,
I
it's
was going to ask about that. So, Rachel, you as well, talk about forming this bond with Jenny. You're Era 1, she's Era 4. You didn't know each other. So, how did that all come to be for you?
Well, I immediately gravitated towards Jenny because I could tell she played an I don't give a shit game. And I respect that a lot. I think that anybody who can walk into a challenge house and not kind of succumb to like I don't know, just it's not even a popularity, it's just like
It feels like that though to
like
me.
just like
Yeah.
trying to appease, like she wasn't going to appease the masses just for simply staying in good graces.
I
She was
can't bother.
going to do whatever she wanted to do to, you know, play the game that she felt she'd feel right about. And she didn't care if that pissed off people. And I thought that that was just so cool because that's the way I play. And
Yeah.
I was like, I love you for that. And so, and it also really helped that Aviv was super close with Jenny and I was really close with Aviv. So, like, immediately kind of
Yeah.
that all formed naturally. And then once, Johnny and I started getting close and Jenny and Johnny were so close. So it was really a meant to be friendship because
Mm.
we kind of were brought together in a game sense because we both really respected each other as players. And then also because we were gravitating towards the same people in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a natural friendship that I am so thankful for. And I never looked at Jenny as competition. I looked at her
Yeah.
as like camaraderie.
Do you know what, Rach? There was an episode, there was a time when you were a target and I'd won the challenge. And I can't remember who came up to me, but someone came up to me and said, "This is your opportunity to get rid of a really strong player." And they were like, "If you put Rachel in, she could beat you in a final." I remember thinking, like, the thought didn't even cross my mind to even think about. I would never feel that need to get rid of people to better my chances. I'll either win or I won't. I'm never going to take away Rachel's chance at winning when she's a person who is, I think, very similar to me in the sense that she plays fair, she works hard, she doesn't just slide by like some people do. And so
Right.
I thought, what are you on about? Like, well, I don't, I'm never going to do that. Like,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think,
And
yeah,
I mean,
like,
even going into the final, Jenny actually said verbally the night before, it's probably on camera somewhere, but she was like, I wish we could both win.
yeah, yeah,
And it was like that was kind of our attitude, even on the final elimination. I mean, the final women's challenge day. We looked at it as we're okay as long as we don't have to go
one
against
of
you.
us, yeah,
Like one of
yeah,
us
yeah,
has to just beat Cara, and then the other
yeah.
person just has to like figure it out after
Just
that.
not lose. Yeah, it
Um,
was quite cool actually because it was like it got to the point. It's almost like less pressure on yourself because it's like, okay, either I win or Rachel wins, and that's all that matters. As long as one of us doesn't
But
come
it
last,
happened
and one of us,
perfectly because Jenny
yeah,
did not have the connections that I had established at that point in the game.
yeah,
Had she been sitting in my situation and I had won that day, it would be not the ideal
yeah,
outcome. But these things
yeah,
are just meant to be.
mm-hmm.
That's all I can say. Like they work themselves out, they're meant to be. And like I said on the show, the fact that an Era 4 woman and an Era 1 woman came together and have this massively strong bond and
Yeah,
managed to win this game together is storybook. And
yeah,
it was a really feel good ending to what could have potentially been a devastating ending.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
really had somebody come and taken first place single-handedly from someone, it could be really kind of hard to watch.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But everyone watching this final, unless you're Michelle or Tori fan, you're gonna be like happy. And even if you are one of their fans, which absolutely I am as well, you still can appreciate the happiness that we share when we win.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, the final favored swimmers, so poor Kyland out there. I mean, that was hard to watch, but you gotta learn how to swim if you want to get to the final of
he
a
was
challenge.
like vertical in the water. Like if
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you watch his like screen grabs from like underwater, he's literally
His
swimming
feet are
vertical.
just
What was worse, the swimming or the sleep deprivation? Jenny, because you look like you were losing it in
We'll
yeah.
probably have different answers on this.
Yeah. I think, do you know what? I see myself, I know what I'm going into when you sign up for the challenge, you know it's not going to be easy. And I always say to people, I actually want it to be really, really hard because I know I'll never quit. I haven't got the ability to, and I know that eventually people will like kind of drop off or quit. So that's fine with being hard. What I didn't expect to anticipate was my period coming day one on the first day of the final. And whether you know much about periods or not, Denton, I will just tell you that I choose not to be around human beings on day one. It's something happens to my brain where I am the most worst person to be around ever, and my patience is zero. And so I just remember just like being so angry at production for not allowing me a painkiller for my cramps and always male. That's why they won't give me one because he doesn't understand. And like I was just on one, and I needed to just get through 24 hours of those hormones before it all calmed down. Um, So yeah, in answer to the question, I cannot remember now at all. But yeah, it was more
Basically,
that than anything. I
we're
think,
normalizing period talk in this press kit
yeah,
because
there's a thing as
we
TMI.
literally have to recognize that Jenny was on her
Yeah,
first day of period, and she
yeah.
is definitely a different person on that. So this challenge was extra hard.
Yes, yeah. Just that day one, get day one done, and I was like, I was better on the second day. But yeah,
But Jenny, for you, sleep deprivation was the worst part, and Rachel, the swimming. Too much swimming for you. Is that what you're
Yeah, I
saying?
mean, like towards the first day when they pulled the boat up, I was like, you got to pull this closer. Like I literally was like, you got to be fucking kidding
yeah.
me.
I swear it kept
Pull the
getting
boat.
smaller.
I was like, pull the boat. Like, I was actually like visibly getting upset. I'm like, pull the
Mm,
boat closer. Like, we cannot physically swim this long, you know? And I think because it was also the third swim of the day. So you're just at that point, you're like, I have to do this again.
yeah,
So that I think for me was the hardest. And I think the first day was the hardest too. Like because it was just so much swimming, like at least on the second day we had a row and we had the sea scooter. I love how Jen
mhm.
sea scooter in the episode. She said, I just want to put this sea scooter down and swim.
Yeah. I just wanted to swim. I tried to ditch it, but
But
you had to take it
we
back,
had
didn't you?
contraptions, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just swimming. I think that was probably
Yeah.
production's way of like trying to see if other people would win. But still somehow Jenny and Jordan managed to house it, or Michelle. But it was I don't know, it was just the first day was absolutely abnormal for
And you know what? Yeah, I think all of us were like, when they said every challenge starts on the boat and ends on the boat, and then they'd park the boat or whatever you want to
and they
say
moved the
a mile
boat
away.
while we were
Yeah,
doing
they
what we were
moved
doing.
it.
Like you look back and the boat would be like on the other side. And I'm like, you moved the boat. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you know?
Well, can we talk a little bit about how the women kicked the guy's ass also? I mean, only Jordan was beating everyone. So the men's final was a little boring. But the women, I mean, you were destroying all the other three guys through most of it, and it
I
was
know.
very close. I mean, Michelle lost by 1 point, and then Tori just a few. So talk about representing women in that way.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why Rachel and I just get on so well because both of us are like, I mean, I'm, for me, it's like it's all cool and well, like beating girls and winning or whatever. But I love beating guys. I don't know what it is, but I love like just being like, oh, I'm actually stronger, faster, and fitter than you, and mentally stronger than you. Like, there's something about it. So we came into season knowing it was absolutely, it's so stacked for females. And I said to Rachel at the very beginning of the season, and with her speech and everything, when she said, right, how men are riding on the back of us or whatever. For me. I was excited to see how the females perform, and it did not disappoint. On many occasions, the women were just like killing it, and it was no different in the final.
Yeah, I mean, it went with the theme of the season. The
It
end
really did.
went with
Yeah.
the theme of the season, which was that, the women competition the women competition carried the final. It really did. And
Yeah.
it just has to be noted that one different placement in a checkpoint would have completely changed
Mm,
the outcome of the results.
yeah.
And that's what the challenge gods wanted. They wanted the ending to be something that could be one way or the other by just a
Mm,
hair of a fraction of a difference, right? Like somebody, and unfortunately for the guys' side, they just had such a powerhouse swimmer and then someone who could not swim. So it
yeah.
made it a
Hmm.
two-person race for second.
Hmm.
But the women, we just like one when I mean two absolute the T of the season, won when we needed to. Like I won when I needed to in the overnight. Jenny consistently won. Michelle won when she needed to. The only
Hmm.
one who didn't stay on course with their season was probably Tori, which is why my heart goes out to her the most because
Mm.
I think that, but it was a pretty hard pill to swallow.
I think to run that kind of difficult of a final that was so tough, and I just remember her looking at me at the end of the day too and just being
You can
like,
see it.
Yeah, yeah.
You can see it
The
actually in her
splitting.
face, and it's actually
Yeah,
even like it's interesting because I actually even like it's interesting because I almost see it
yeah.
even in the beginning of the final, but she looks a bit defeated,
Hmm.
like Tori's face, like
Hmm.
you can tell that she's just like she feels like what the fuck,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I feel for her because I do know what an amazing competitor she is, and it
Mm,
hurts to do that final and
mm.
go home with no money.
Yeah, it's
But
horrible.
feel like I do feel like everything is meant to be, and she's got a lot going on outside of the show. She's going to
Yeah.
be just fine. Michelle, obviously had a stellar performance. I don't
Mm,
think on a normal final she might have shined just as much as she did on this one.
mm.
I mean, this was like this catered to her strengths specifically,
Yeah.
which
A
I
lot
think
of puzzles, swimming.
it was amazing for her. It was amazing to watch, even as someone who had to swim against her. I was like, you are amazing in the water, you
Yeah.
know? So I just think it's all like, it all kind of worked out the way it was meant to be.
And Bananas
Mm.
Angels. They make it seem like Bananas is like this is in charge, but the Angels were really in charge of this alliance. Like they held the power. But Rachel, for you especially, I mean, to come back and have this alliance with Bananas is was interesting to watch.
I know, like we honestly never saw it coming, but who knows? They say like there's a fine line between love and hate. So, I just listen, we've always gotten along outside of the show. And every season I've ever done with him prior to this, we just didn't align. So, on this particular season, I came in wanting to really have a clear conscience, and I didn't want drama to affect my game. When I have a lot of drama, I don't perform as well as I want to. It lives inside of me. I definitely see Johnny, and I'm in awe of how he carries so much
Yeah. Yeah.
personal drama in a game where and still can keep his eye on the prize. For me, it will cloud my judgment. I will start making decisions that aren't in my benefit because I just have drama on the brain. So,
Yeah.
or like a vendetta or whatever it is. So I really wanted to come in with a clean slate with Johnny. I didn't want to bring our past into it, you know? And when I came in with a clean slate, I ended up realizing that he was like I loved him. He was not talking game. He was not trying to make like weird deals in weird corners with people. He was playing the game pretty upfront. He was
Hmm.
very supportive of me in a very vulnerable time in the game when I was pretty much alone on a team of one. And I and then when the game went individual, it was very clear that the relationships that you had with men and the relationships that you had with women can benefit you.
Hmm.
And that worked out great for us. So really, I mean, and I happen to hang out with him now in real life, and like we truly do love each other. So I know it's provoking for people. I know they can't handle it, but I also have something to tell them. Guess what? Michelle loves him too, and so does Tori. So
Yeah.
like like I've seen it. I got pictures to prove it. Like we all kind of hugged it out at the end of it, admitted
Yeah.
everyone really truly does love each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's
really the
good.
way.
Quick final question before we go, just one word answer. If hypothetically, if you return for a Paris season, who would be your top draft pick? Who's number one for your male partner, and who's number one for your female partner? And I'll start with you, Jenny.
Okay, easy. Rachel, definitely. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
There's no way we
me
wouldn't win,
too.
Rachel.
I'm
You
not
got,
even lying when I say that. She's
yeah.
fucking good at puzzles too. Like
I
Jenny
am
will
gonna
do a
puzzle.
puzzle in like 5 seconds, and then she's like,
Yeah,
"I'm
yeah.
really good with puzzles." I'm like, "Yes, you are. Stop saying
Best to
that."
pretend you're not, isn't it? It is best to pretend you're not. And even though it'll come with a lot of heat, it'll always be Johnny. Um, you know,
What about you,
just
Rachel?
Okay, well, I'm definitely gonna go with Jenny. That's hands down. And probably, and only because I think
Jordan.
he's so great socially and I'd want him to get his win, I'm gonna pick Josh.
Ah, I like that. Yeah.
I just feel like I trust him. I love him. He keeps me sane. He's like the teddy bear I need in the game. And he's so likable and I want him to win.
All right. Well, congratulations to both of you
Thank
on such a
you.
great epic season, and thanks for chatting with Gold Derby today.
Thank
No,
you.
thank you so much for having us.